Hello and happy Saturday. It is time for another episode of Party Chat, episode 20, which I just realized last night very well coincided with April 20th. So, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another exciting episode of Party Chat. And today we've got my usual co host of Ryan, who showed up just in time. What's up, Ryan? Glad you could make it.
Uh, I'm actually excited to see you have a little bit of an intro now, like just enough to get it off the ground. So props.
I've had that for a while, but because I just recently started using the paid version of Restream, I wasn't able to actually use it until now.
Yeah,
Same with the background and the
yeah.
logo and stuff. So I've upgraded a little bit.
Oh man, it looks
So
good. Good to be here. Oh, it's the irony that you mentioned about it's episode 20 on 420. So I don't. It's not my thing, but for all of you
me
420ers
neither.
out there, go slow, don't
I
go
didn't.
nuts.
I didn't even realize that this was on 420 until a couple weeks ago because this evening I'm going to be on RNG with Adam, uh, called Cult of Carl, and he's like, "Yeah, it's on 420." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that because
Y-
yeah, it's not my thing either." But
Yeah, it's not my
um,
bag of tea.
but hello, and thank you for joining me today. And I got an awesome guest host for today, Dread Roberts. Oh, what the?
Yo,
Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
I'm happy to join you guys. How you doing, Ryan? Nice to meet you, and nice to
It's
see
nice to
you,
meet you.
Neo.
So,
Appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, no, it's man, Saturday, great day to do it.
yeah. So, I don't. Mark said he probably wasn't going to be able to join us, so he's busy with stuff again today. So we're just going to get
Yeah,
ahead and
he
started with the three of us. And if he shows up, cool. But if not, we'll see him later. So. All right. So, well, actually, I see a few people in the chat, so we'll go ahead and say hi. I see Words of Paradise saying hi. What's up, Words of Paradise? Good to see you, buddy. Yes, I look forward to being on your show at some time. So, and we got the ever trolling Nerdporial life form. I hear this Dread Roberts guy hates Elden Ring.
Yeah, well, I hear that Nerdporial hates everything in the universe, so yeah.
Anything from Soft is awful to him. We'll get into that. Um, and we have Real Wade Nation. What's up, Real Wade Nation? Good to always see you in the chat. Happy Saturday. And my good buddy, DJ Access, who is also on my channel twice this week. What's up, DJ Access? Just stopping to say, hail, Neo, panelist chat, and to drop a like. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. You're a good buddy. So we will go ahead and get started with. So I didn't actually let Dread Roberts know this ahead of time. Before we get into our topics for the stream, I like to go around and ask everyone what they've been playing lately. So have you been playing anything lately?
I think he's asking you first. Sorry.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. I was going to give you some leeway, but no.
Yes, that was directed at Dread Roberts.
Yeah. So Fallout. I've been getting into Fallout again. I was already playing New Vegas for hours the other night. Yeah, it's just like the old days, but after watching Fallout, I was just thinking, man, it would be cool to go in here and start playing this again. So I've been doing that, but I'm still playing all my favorites, like all my Souls stuff I do. But yeah, Fallout, big time.
Okay, just jumping around to all of them.
Yeah, I jump around a lot.
Okay,
but yeah, big fan of New Vegas and 3 and stuff, and I've just been getting into those.
cool. Yeah, well, we got one of our questions is focused on Fallout today, as well as the topic that you suggested for one of your favorite genres. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And Ryan, what about you? Have you been playing anything lately?
It's Fallout.
That's why I put it on the. I didn't even think about it till last night or yesterday afternoon. Whenever I was figuring out the talks, I was like, Fallout's kind of on the top of everyone's brain right now. So let's throw a Fallout topic in there. To keep
Also, Wade, yes, I was just on time for the stream. I goofed up the time for his stream last night, so I was like,
yeah, at
it's
least
only
Ryan
like
was on
19, 20 minutes late.
only 20 minutes late.
Yeah, I thought it was like 40 minutes from, an hour from the actual time, and then I saw they were live, and I was like, oh, yeah. So no, I have actually reinstalled the original Fallout.
Oh,
I
way
know
back.
that I know that I know that Yellow Flash isn't a big fan. He doesn't like point and clicks. I probably would have suggested to him, I probably said, "Hey, man, maybe pick up Fallout 3 and then New Vegas, and then maybe go backwards to 1 and 2." But yeah, I like the original point and clicks. It reminds me, I didn't play the original Fallout's when they came out. I was playing too busy playing StarCraft, so I still like
Oh,
clicks, but it's not real. It's not StarCraft isn't a turn based point and click. So yeah, no, it's cool to see the original Fallout works on my new computer too. That was a concern because I can get New Vegas to work, but I can't get 3 to work. But Fallout
oh,
1
weird.
works, and it's like it's those darn RTX graphics cards, and of course it's Windows 11. So I mean, it's all screwed up. They're old games.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Fallout in quite a long time, but I have put. Well, I'll get into that later. But for me, I have been playing
What does that mean? I'll get
well,
into it later.
on when we get to the Fallout question.
Oh,
I'll talk more about my background in Fallout.
I
So
thought he was like, we're not touching this because it might have been like what the one game you're not good at or something.
no. I haven't played a lot of Fallout games, but I'll talk more about it once we get to the Fallout.
All right, that's fair.
But for what I have been playing lately, I've been inspired by my recent episodes of Top 5. For anyone who's hung around my channel, they know that my genre of expertise is Metroidvanias. So we've had 2 episodes of Top 5 on Metroidvanias, and just talking about so much Metroidvanias got the itch where I had to go back and play a few of the ones that were on my Top 5 list because I haven't played them in a long time. So a few weeks, like right after the first episode of Top 5, I went back and played through Mummy Demastered, and then a few weeks later I went through Shadow Complex again, and then just last night I finished another playthrough of my number 1 favorite Metroidvania of all time, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I've been talking about it on a couple of my streams this week, and I even got one of my friends, Vanquish, to pick up the Ori collection. He sent me the picture of his Steam. He's like, I went ahead and did it because he was watching me play the other night. And man, just
I
playing
just
through
have to ask,
Ori again.
What's Mummy Demastered?
Okay, but yeah, playing through Ori again just reminds me how much I love that game. So Mummy Demastered it's like a pixel art. It came out in 2017, but it looks like a Super Nintendo game, and it's probably the closest thing I've played not on a Nintendo console to Metroid Prime. Or not Metroid Prime, sorry, just standard Metroid. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer Metroidvania, and it is loosely based on the terrible Tom Cruise Mummy movie. There are it's one of those rare occasions where the game is better than the movie it's based on.
It's a game? Wow.
Yeah, and it's pretty short. It only took probably about 6 hours to go through it. I didn't get 100%. I probably got about 85%. I have gotten 100% because I have all the achievements in it back when I first played it in 2017. But I don't think I had played it basically since. So I was like, I gotta go back and play that game. So it's not terribly long, and it's a great Metroidvania. And yeah, you play as soldiers that are well. The way it works is if you die, you come back as like another soldier. And then you have to go back to where the previous soldier died and pick up his stuff. So it kind of has that slight Souls-like element to it.
Yeah.
But you have guns and stuff, and there's this mummy that starts out basically as a skeleton, and it's regenerating throughout the game until you fight it as the final boss of the game. But very underrated Metroidvania. I definitely recommended it. It was on my number 5 on my list of top 5 Metroidvanias. However, what I do for top 5s typically is I usually limit my choices to 1 per franchise. So in that case, so it didn't just end up being a list of my top 5 Metroid games. I limited my top 5 list to 1 Metroid game in order to spice it up a little bit. But that's a very underrated Metroidvania game that I would definitely recommend, and it's a great game.
Wow. Is that your long-winded way of saying I'm not playing Fallout? Like everybody else? Just kidding. No, sorry.
No,
you had this look like, bro, really?
I'm not. Like I said, I haven't played Fallout since it's been years.
You know that weirdly, I will say weirdly, yeah, weirdly enough, the sales for Fallout 76 have went up. I saw a tweet on
That
a
makes
post on
sense.
Twitter where like going, so can we finally admit the fact that this game has always been good from the beginning? I was like going, I always loved the game from the beginning, but it wasn't good from the beginning. And again, I very much enjoyed my time. I love playing Fallout 76, but it has not been good since the beginning. So let's just put that out there. But no, yeah, Fallout 76 is it's skyrocketed. But shout out to Fallout 4. It's got it hit records for sales in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about the show, and usually when there are good things about the media properties that are not the game do well, then the game's sales usually go
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah, Words of Paradise says Fallout 76 is good now. It was not good day one. I know I beta tested it on the PlayStation 4. I didn't have as many bugs as a lot of other people, but trust me, there's a lot of problems. But no, it's a very good game now. So look, we're not talking Fallout yet. I got to stop talking about Fallout. I love Fallout. So this show has really, even though I have a few issues with it, I love Fallout. I'll shut up. Maybe I should change my background to Fallout.
I also love the Fallout show. I think it's a good show.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Tim Talks. He says Tay Tay rules. I'm not actually a Swiftie, but it's the long running meme that won't go away.
Well, it doesn't help that you got her on your background.
Well, that's because it's a long running meme that won't go away.
If you got rid of your background, it might help.
No, you just gotta keep going, man, until a new joke comes up. This used to be the old joke.
Yeah, no, I prefer the Tay Tay one.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That was the old joke. So
but
oh goodness.
But yeah, what's up, Tim Stock? Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, I've been going through and playing some of my favorite Metroidvanias again because it's been a long time since I played them. I just finished my playthrough of Ori and the Will of the Wisps again last night. And then the other thing that I've been playing was a game that is about to leave Game Pass at the end of the month, and it's a pretty short completion. So I started. It's Ravenlock, and it's like it's voxel based, so it's kind of like Minecraft, but if you were to shrink they're not like big blocky heads. The voxels are much smaller, so the characters have more detail. But it's a little hack and slash. It seems very inspired by Alice in Wonderland, because you basically touch this mirror and you go into like this fantasy world, and there's like talking animals, and there's like an evil queen and stuff. So I played a couple hours of that. I'm planning on getting that done before the end of the month. So, but yeah, that is what I have been playing. And one other thing that I wanted to mention, I wrote it down and highlighted it so I didn't forget, because this is very important, that I don't know if they're here. And if you are here, I apologize for not covering this last party chat when this came in. I'm still trying to figure out how to get notifications and stuff to pop up on screen. I haven't figured all. Oh yeah, I can drop that off the screen. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the notification stuff to pop up on screen when I'm on a panel stream. And Ryan, during a party chat last episode, I got a tip on my tip line from someone named Ryan's Favorite Bucket.
Oh, that's got to be R2. And
they tipped $6.90. But I didn't notice it till after the stream because I haven't figured out how to get the notifications to pop up.
I'm going to message him right now because it's got to be R2 the Icky.
Okay.
Because that is very much something he would do. That or JT, which both are part of the after the weekend crew. So I mean, and I've probably known them the longest out of all of the YouTubers that I stream with. And when they're not on their show after the weekend, trust me, the dudes get rowdy. So don't let them fool you that family friendly crap.
I don't remember seeing JT in chat last episode, but I'm pretty sure I remember R2 being in chat.
So if it was one of
them, it was probably R2. So
I'll message him right now. That's some bitch.
If that was you, R2, I apologize for not catching that during the stream because I haven't figured out how to get notifications. So I've got it pulled up here on my other monitor. So if another one does come in, I should be notified. But thank you for that. Regardless, I appreciate it. And I did a roulette stream right after party chat last time, and I did I put that into my roulette tips? I think I did. But anyways, with that, we will go ahead and get into our topics for today. At 30 minutes or 30 seconds. So,
if I go off microphone every once in a while or off camera, it is lovely spring here. We seem to have had our final days of winter, and now everything's blooming again. And I haven't lived here in 11 years, so my allergies start to freak out. So
Oh no.
okay.
yeah, I always react poorly when I move to a new place. It was the same thing in Florida. The first year I moved to Florida, like, was really bad, and then like after that, it was just like medium. So just don't mind me. If I sound funky.
Yeah, I don't mind you anyways.
He's got jokes.
So, all right. Well, we will go ahead and get into our first topic for today. And as I like to do, I like to ask my guests if they have any topics that they would like to suggest for this for the stream. And I found out that Dread Roberts here is a big fan of Souls-like games. So, for our first topic of the day, we're going to be talking about our favorite Souls-like games. So, since this is your topic, Dread, I will let you start off.
Well, my favorite Souls-like game, because I don't now, are we talking anything that's not FromSoft, or are we talking about FromSoft games as well?
As long as it fits the genre, it doesn't matter who it's from.
Okay, well, I think recently I've taken a liking to Lies of P as like one of the more recent Souls-likes, but back in the day, I used to actually play a lot of Ashen with a friend of mine.
I don't know anything about that game.
Yeah, it was way back. It was one of the first of its kind, I think. At least in my opinion, it was one of the first games that directly was inspired from Dark Souls. And then it had like a co-op function, so you could basically go through the game with a friend, and your characters didn't really have faces or anything like that. So it was a very interesting artistic endeavor, but the action was pretty good for its time. But for anything FromSoft specific that is not Dark Souls, I'd say Bloodborne is probably the best Souls-like game there is.
Okay, I've heard nothing but good things about that one.
Yeah, it's legendary. Just the art style, the story is insane. I've probably clocked in close to like 1,500 hours total on all my. Now Elden Ring, I've been playing a lot. That's their most recent, and so that's become one of my fan favorites. I have about 800 clocked into that one. I'm a big PvP guy in those Souls games, so I'm always hunting down innocent players, just annihilating those poor saps. Hopefully they uninstall. They don't deserve to be there. No, I'm just kidding. But it's still a fun time. So I enjoy it.
Now, because I don't have a lot of experience in Souls-like games, I'm assuming that's something you can turn off, because I would not want someone invading my game and wrecking me when I'm already having a big enough trouble with the game as is.
Yeah, so there are requirements in order to invade people, and yes, you can just disconnect if someone invades you. I've had plenty of people do that to me, especially if they're about to die. They'll just disconnect, and all of a sudden I'm set back. But you get invaded, like for example, Elden Ring, the newest game. The only way you can get invaded is if you use an item that allows you to summon people into your world, and if that item is activated, then you can get invaded. Otherwise, you're pretty much left alone, and you only deal with like the NPC invaders in the game. But yeah, if you use that summon item, it's go time, baby.
Okay, so it's basically up to you if someone can invade you or not. Okay.
Yeah,
because there was it wasn't actually a player controlled thing, but there was a similar concept in Doom Eternal where your game can be invaded by a superpowered demon who killed one of your friends in that arena. So they can show up, and they're much tougher than the standard demon of whatever type it happens to be. But you get more rewards from it when you defeat it. But you can turn that off in the settings if you want.
That sounds like the nemesis that you kind of fight in Diablo 3 and 4. Like it can just what's another good game? Shadow of Mordor, I think, did something like that, where you those orc captains that kill one of your friends, you can find that orc and kill him, I think.
So kind of in the Mordor games, if the Oh no, you are right about that because there will be revenge. I don't know if it was in Shadow of Mordor, but I absolutely know it was in Shadow
It
of
was either
War
that or War. Definitely in
because
War.
in both games, if you get killed by an orc or Uruk, then they level up, and next time you come across them, they'll be stronger than they were last time, and they'll recognize you and call you out or whatever.
Yeah.
But you are right. I'm pretty sure this other function you were referring to, I don't remember that being in Shadow of Mordor, but I do know for a fact it was in War, that other people on your friends list that were killed by a certain orc, then it'll show up as like a revenge mission on your map. And if you go and kill them, it'll say you avenged your friend. And I think there was even an achievement for it too.
Yes. And those were not fun either, because like you think you're all just tough and everything, but then you realize your friend has died maybe 100 times to this one orc, and he's just like a god.
Yeah, that's why I was a bigger fan of Shadow of Mordor than I was of Shadow of War, just because all of the like defenses that the enemies built up later in the game when they're like super high level, they're like almost invulnerable to like almost every attack you have, and there's only like one thing you can do to even like stun them and then get like a couple of hits in when you're surrounded by like 20
Exactly. Yeah,
other
you have to
orcs.
move past all of those other ones just to get to him.
That got tiring, so that's why they're both good games, but that's why I like Shadow of Mordor more than I like Shadow of War.
I think that I agree. Actually, I think that it had an advantage for that, especially like when you're fighting captains and then another captain comes in. So you're fighting one, he's just like, Grave Walker, and then another one shows up, and then you're just overwhelmed. And
yeah, but yeah, very similar thing to getting invaded in. You said that was in Elden Ring, right?
yeah, I mean, it's been a function in the past. I think it's a similar requirement in Dark Souls 3 and 2. I think that as long as you don't ever use summoning items, you don't ever get invaded. It's just when you try to use the online functions that the game's like, okay, you want to play that way, fine, there you go, and then maybe
The
you'll
risk
get invaded.
reward.
Yeah.
So you could get friendlies into your game, but you could also invite enemies.
Yes, and sometimes they're worth a lot, and then other times they're not. But I've had enemies just that are just really resourceful and using insane builds I've never seen, and I've played a lot. But people are creative.
Okay, yeah, I've got. Well, I'll get more into that when I get to my answer for this question. So, but Ryan, have you played much of Souls-like games at all?
I'm gonna be honest. No.
I didn't think so.
I avoid them like the plague because I hear the stories all the time about how the games are so hard and maddening that you want to pull your face off. I don't need any more of that in my life. I get enough of that in my daily job because, again, most corporations are run by idiots. So no, I'm the guy who plays a video game that I've played once before, and I still play it on easy mode because I'm there for the story and not necessarily the combat. And if somebody wants to call me a puss, go nuts, because it's no, seriously, I love gaming. I just can't get into those games where it's like it's so hard that you want to just pull your eyebrows out. And look, there are gamers who, like, if they want to challenge themselves, go nuts. Y'all want to play on hard mode or God mode, whatever mode there is to make you want to put a gun barrel in your mouth 1 minute and then you're celebrating and your arms are in the air the next minute because you beat the boss by that much. I can't do it. I can't, like, for my sanity, I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's pretty niche, right? I mean,
yeah, I've heard they're so brutal.
Yeah, it puts a lot of emphasis on difficulty. Even like me playing those Souls games for years, I still die a bunch. And I'm actually, it still fascinates me to this day how mainstream the games have become, despite how niche they are. So,
well, because the new one came out, right? And everybody was kind of on that train. Like, I even saw.
Talking about Elden Ring?
Yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, no, so like Elden Ring came out and it had this massive resurgence because it had been how many years between the games?
Quite a few. Well, yeah, we had Sekiro that came out quite a few years prior. So we were waiting a hot minute for a new game.
Yeah,
a new FromSoft game.
Yeah, but the coolest thing about, I think what really got people into Elden Ring is just because the world was so uniquely crafted. It's just such a really weird fantasy setting. The way that the map is all built out and the nooks and crannies and crevices that you can explore, like you can just go into like a crack in the wall, and then you end up in an endless underground city that goes on for miles. Just that
Yeah,
kind
see,
of
that's cool.
exploration. And yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there, and the combat does not hold your hand for sure. And I don't blame people for stopping
Yeah.
and not playing it. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, and look, I actually recently watched somebody from somewhat in our sphere playing Fallout New Vegas, and it's like, and it's like, what, like that game even to this day doesn't hold your hand. Like the little prompt telling you what to do is up in the
Mm.
corner of the screen, and they're like, I don't know what to do. How do I do that? And I'm like, it's in the corner of the screen. It's in the corner of the screen. But I've played that, right? So I know where to look. And then of course they killed they killed Cheyenne the dog. They're like, I didn't kill the dog, and I'm like, yeah, actually you did. You used VATS and you shot one of the geckos, and the dog got in the way, and you killed the dog. It's like,
Oh, that's messed up.
yeah, I was like, well, it's one of the only people I've ever seen kill the dog Cheyenne in Fallout New Vegas during the tutorial. But
On accident too. Oh man.
yeah, it was just one of those things that, again, to each their own. Fallout's kind of like, it's going to be more mainstream a little bit now because of the show, but it was kind of a niche thing among hardcore Fallout fans. You might get a few that trickle in here and there, but yeah, it's just funny. Maybe one day, I don't know, I might try the Souls games if I can find it free or something.
You couldn't go wrong with Elden Ring. I know you mentioned that you
I've
care about the
I've
story and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've seen the gameplay. It's beautiful. It's
Yes.
a beautiful game. It's gorgeous.
It just kills you a lot.
Yeah, well, again, I don't mind the fact that you get, you got to be decent, but at some point, if I were to try to do like a 3-hour stream of it, I could probably only make it through like maybe an hour and 20 minutes before I was like, all right, my nerves are kind of fried. This game's pissing me off. I gotta go, guys.
Yeah, fair. But
So,
I think it would be a great entry point for you, just because I think that the controls and the game, I think, is a lot more user friendly than previous Souls titles, and I think that was probably their purpose. But it's definitely it definitely helps you get into it a lot better than previous games, I noticed, and the controls are a lot better, a lot more to do now. So
yeah, I watched a hardcore gamer who a big Fallout fan, but plays all sorts of games, right? That the chat recommends, and he usually plays on hard. It's very rare that he's like, well, there's normal or whatever. So anyway, and he was playing like I think it was Dark Souls 2, and he got to this one point, and he's like, sorry guys, I beat it behind the scenes because it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. And he's like, I didn't want there to be lag, and so he's like, I just beat it off screen. He's like, I'll tell you how I beat it, but I beat it off screen.
okay, well, I'm curious then. Like, have you ever by chance played the survival mode in any of the Fallout games, where it
I
just
have
gives
not,
you like
no.
real hunger and thirst and stuff? And that's
No.
annoying to me.
Yeah, no. See, the only thing I have experience with survival mode-ish is Fallout 76, and it is obnoxious.
Oh, there's a survival mode in 76 too?
Oh yeah, you have to drink water, you have to eat food. Your food spoils. So most of the time, I'm one of those
Oh.
people who, if it's not preserved from like the old world, like say you Meyerlurk cakes or whatever. Basically, they're kind of like crab cakes. I think you have to eat them within like 8 hours in the game or something,
Oh man.
or somewhere in that neighborhood, or they spoil. So you'll see like little loot bags, like it looks like a little brown bag on the ground, and like you look in it, and it's like, oh, spoiled fruit, spoiled this, spoiled meat, like, and you're like, yeah, you're dropping all your food. So
Oh
no,
yeah.
that was a big criticism by some people. They're like, I don't want survival mechanics unless I'm playing survival mode in Fallout, and so
do you have to sleep in that mode too?
I think you did in New Vegas. I don't know about 76 because you would get really tired and fatigued.
I don't think you have to sleep anymore. I think in the beginning that was a big criticism, is that you had to sleep too.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, please, because it's been a while since I've
done
I played the game at launch, so it's been 5 years.
Interesting though, because food didn't spoil in New Vegas.
No, it
I don't think
didn't.
they really had a function for that.
No. In Fallout 3 in New Vegas, food did not spoil.
I don't
You
even think
could
there was a survival mode in Fallout 3.
maybe
No, I
not.
only remember it in Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'm pretty sure that was introduced in Vegas.
so. But yeah. Anyway, so no. Long story short, I'm not a huge fan of survival mode because it is kind of a pest. And even sometimes I kind of think they turn the survival mode for drinking water up like you're almost like a normal person because it seems like if you're running around every 30 minutes, you have to like drink a purified water or because you're like your thirst meter's almost out. And it's like,
Yeah.
maybe let's not make it that extreme. Like going, it's not a real person. I'm a real person. I got to drink water, but it's a game. Let's make it every 4 hours. Is that cool? It seems like it's pretty extreme with the and it's one thing a lot of big Fallout YouTubers complain about to this day. So anyway,
Okay. Well, before I move on here, I saw a couple of people show up in chat. Clifton 3D, hello and welcome. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before, but I have seen you on other people's channels before. But hello and welcome. Hope you enjoy party chat. And the Devastator, who I've also not seen, hello and welcome. Hope you're enjoying yourself. And Dabs, what's up, Dabs? Good to see you. Dabs loves survival games, which I did already know. Fallout with survival modes, for survival mods or Skyrim are a lot of fun. Yeah, she loves her survival and her crafting and her building.
Well, she got bigger balls than I do because I can't be bothered. I have no time for that headache.
So, yeah, Mark's not here, but I'm pretty confident that I can say that, given how much we've talked, I know that he wasn't even planning on playing Liza P until a bunch of people told him last year, like, no, it's really good, you should play it. And then it ended up becoming his game of the year last year. So I know he
it was
loves.
Liza
Yeah,
Pie.
remember he liked it.
It's
No,
P?
Liza P. But
Yeah,
I
I
said
know
that wrong the whole time.
You were saying Liza P?
No,
I
you're
was saying
saying
Liza
Liza
Pie.
Pie.
Oh, Liza Pie. Okay.
Well, yeah,
Like,
because
like the number pi, right?
yeah,
PI?
that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like pie. Liza Pie.
No, it's
3.1
Liza P.
Delicious.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with. Has anybody heard a game developer say what it is?
I'm
joking.
I think
I
so,
don't
but
know.
now that you
Don't
mentioned it,
don't
I'm not
ask
sure
me.
I have. But I do know it is Liza P.
Liza P is a really fun game. I'd say it's probably one of the easier Souls-like, just in my personal opinion, although there are a couple insane bosses in that game, like Lexasia. But some of those bosses move so unnaturally and just destroy you. Actually, I think I think the reason that game is so good is because it's not made by it's not made like by a big studio, but they made it so engaging, and it really knocks you on your butt often. So it's one of the ones that stands out to me. I think I can see why Mark made it his game of the year. If I understand, he's a big Souls dude as well.
Yeah. So it's a bummer he's not here to talk about this. I'll have to ask him about it next time he's on. But I do know he loved Liza P, and I know he is also a big fan of Sekiro as well.
Oh yes. Oh, Sekiro. Okay, yeah. That's So yeah. I think Angry Canadian and Nerdporial have seen me try to no-hit some of the bosses in that game. That's actually a really good game, and
impressive.
it's like nothing like their other games. But like it has a survival-ish parry. It's very heavy on parrying, like just timing everything perfectly. That's its biggest thing, but that's a fun game.
I know that Mark said that there was a point where he unlocked some sort of like special parry counter move. I don't know what it was called, but he said that once he got that, it was like a game changer.
Yeah, because there are a few things that you can do, like especially when you're executing people, there are weapon modifications you can have where it's like you'll have like blood smoke sprout from them after, and like conceal your location for a few seconds, stuff like that. There are little things you can add on in your skill tree to just make your fights more effective. But I always push myself way too hard. I went through like the whole game with just a sword. took a long time. I probably should have just gone that route the first time, like using all the tools available. But I think I'm just a little crazy. So
yeah, talk about it often. Given that one of my favorite games of all time is Ninja Gaiden Black, and I understand the loving something and hating it so much at the same time.
Do you since you're on Ninja Gaiden, do you remember that boss, the giant skeleton thing? I can't remember if it was like a skeleton bird or just a big skeleton that is trying to swipe at you with its arms.
That
It was in a
could be.
cave.
I was gonna say that could, because in Ninja Gaiden Black there was like like a dinosaur, or no, it wasn't. It was like a
The
dragon
dinosaur.
skeleton.
Yeah,
or
the
not-
dragon.
no,
Yeah, the dragon.
I think it was a
Yeah.
dinosaur. In Ninja Gaiden 2, there was also a skeleton boss, but it was some sort of like weird made up skeleton creature. So I'm assuming
Okay.
I'm assuming you're
The
talking
first
about
one.
the okay. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
I remember the
It's-
first one vaguely.
The skeleton that you're talking about is basically like right after you beat Alma and you go down into the caverns,
Yeah.
and it's this big open like
Yeah, that windy
circle.
space that goes down.
And
Yeah.
as you're making your way down the circle platform, it shows up in the middle, and it's swiping at you. That was in
Yeah, I don't
that was
know.
one of the
I don't know
easier
why.
bosses.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I spent a week on that one. I don't know.
I about to say, as
That's-
somebody who played that as a kid and never finished it, even peak video game me couldn't be, because kids are faster than adults. I'm not gonna beat that shit now. Like,
But yeah, especially since it's almost like right after you fight Alma, which is often considered one of the definitely like a spike in difficulty in the game, even though it's already a difficult game to begin with. A lot of
Yeah.
people remember the Alma fight as being like, this game just went up a notch in difficulty. What was that, Ryan?
isn't it considered one of the hardest games ever?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's
so
actually
too.
officially been confirmed, and a lot of legitimate hardcore gamers like, yeah, no, that's probably one of the hardest games of all time.
I
No,
would
yeah,
not be
I've heard that more
surprised.
than once.
I agree with Neo, actually. I think it's when you hit Alma that's when the game really starts to hit you hard. That fight's not funny at all.
It's funny because I often see Alma on lists of like some of the most difficult bosses, but once you get used to her, she's not that bad. It's her
Yeah.
second form when you fight at the end of the game,
Oh, yeah.
or I'd say the last act of the game. That form, her awakened form, is way harder.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the one that's when like Rachel is all tied up on top of that
On top
pyramid.
of that pyramid, yes.
Did you know you could shoot her?
Yes, I did know that. I did that once just to see what happened, and it killed her. It's like, you failed. I'm like, oh, all right, well,
yeah.
learn something new. But yeah, so as for Souls likes, I am a big fan of hack and slashes. I have not played much in the Souls like genre. I'm kind of sad that basically since Souls like became a thing, we haven't gotten any actual hack and slashes since. Basically, all of them have gone the Souls like route, and I would love to see a return to a game that plays like Ninja Gaiden more than like a Souls like game. But like I would, I often say Ninja Gaiden Black is one of my probably top 3 favorite games of all time. Ninja Gaiden 2 is also up there. It's also phenomenal, but I did prefer Ninja Gaiden Black to Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 3 went off a cliff, and that game was crap. But if we could get a proper sequel in a Ninja Gaiden 4, I would be ecstatic. But they would have to do it right and do a lot better than they did with Ninja Gaiden 3. Rather than getting, because it's basically Team Ninja's done, they've basically deviated from their Ninja Gaiden formula, and they've done, both Neo games, and they did Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which those are all Souls-like games.
Right.
I would love to see
They've
a
limited
return to
all the
form.
movement and stuff. I actually agree. I think that we definitely need a new Ninja Gaiden like, because just jumping off the walls and the regular enemies being difficult was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Word of Paradise brings a good point. Yes, what I didn't really mean like in its entirety. I just meant a like hack and slash from Team Ninja. So I guess I didn't word that exactly correctly. But yes,
Well, yeah,
I've played Bayonetta. Those are great. I haven't played any of the DMC games, but I'm pretty sure I would like them. I just never got into them. I would love to play Stellar Blade, but it's PlayStation exclusive, and I don't have a PlayStation. So yeah, no, hack and slashes haven't gone anywhere. Just they've kind of dissipated since Souls likes have become so popular. So that was just a
I don't fully disagree, because because they kind of moved towards the Souls like formula. All those cool, crazy movements that that Ryu could do in Ninja Gaiden. You know, they don't do stuff like that anymore, like running on water, doing backflips off of walls, and like bringing your sword down. A lot of fast-paced, chaotic action. I do really enjoy that kind of play stuff, and they really haven't done anything that crazy. You know, it's very Souls-like fighting. So, you know, you got your rolling and your sidestepping, but it's not like you can just wall run and do a whole bunch of crazy samurai ninja stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan, what were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to ask because I actually Googled it after we were just talking about it. Hardest video games of all time. I saw two lists, and they're the first two I clicked on. It said Contra is the #1 hardest video game of all time. I've never played it.
Oh,
What do you guys
I've
think?
beaten Contra. Oh, I mean, I've beaten Ninja Gaiden as well, but I've never beaten Ninja Gaiden Black on Master Ninja. I did beat it on very hard, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
I mean, I'll say this: they also put Cuphead on the list.
oh
I've
yeah,
heard that's hard, but I've not played it, so I can't say.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fair.
I have not played Contra. I have played Cuphead.
Is it hard?
Cuphead is insane. The tutorial is insane. Once
Really?
you get into it's good, but yeah, it's not.
Wait, so everybody making fun of that video game reviewer from like that magazine who was complaining about it, like, ended up being wrong?
It has a level of difficulty. It's a kind of a memeable tutorial. But I will say, like, most of the difficulty is the bosses. Like, the game is just gorgeous though. I don't know how they did it. It's really fun to play it and look at like the enemies that you fight, but jumping around and dodging, like, it brings you back to those days where platformers just hated your guts.
As Paradise said, yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts was on there too. Both
That
lists.
is definitely
yes.
an incredibly difficult game. I've not played it, but I know it's very, very difficult.
I just found my list of games not to play.
That's a shame though. I've never played Contra. That's
I should now.
I played so the only one that I've played at length is I think it was a like up-res version of the original on the Xbox Live Arcade way back in the day. And I just brought it up recently because I need to go back to it because there's still one achievement I have left, which is beating the game only using 1 credit. I got really close to doing that way back, but I gave up on it and I just haven't gone back to it yet. But I did play the Operation Galuga demo for the one that the Contra game that just came out recently, and I really liked it. So I'm a very frugal gamer, so I'll probably pick that up once it goes on a good sale. But I liked what I played. It's basically like if you were to put a modern paint job on the classic game. I played like the first 2 levels, and it was almost exactly like what I remember from the up-res version of the NES game. I don't know if they went and deviated from it later on down the line, but from what little I played, it was exactly what I remember playing, like 10 years ago, and I really liked it.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyways, as for Souls-like, because Ninja Gaiden Black is incredibly difficult. I haven't played much of like actual Souls-like games, but from what I've seen, it seems to me that Ninja Gaiden is harder because a lot of these Souls-like games seem to be a slower pace than Ninja Gaiden because it's so frantic and so fast-paced. You've played both, so maybe you could give me some more input on that. But from what I've seen, it seems like Ninja Gaiden is harder.
No, you know what? I'm so glad that you mentioned that because some of the people in the chat might know too. But I was actually playing Ninja Gaiden recently. Just to show, I was trying to show off. I didn't realize I was going to get wrecked by the game. But yeah, I played it and I realized that at my age, Ninja Gaiden I think is still slightly more difficult than Souls games. I think it just really has. It just has that magic in it. So yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, both of those lists place Ninja Gaiden higher than Souls, but Souls was on the list.
Yeah. So. I do have, so I've played a little bit of the original Dark Souls or the remastered version. It's still one of those ones where I've started and I haven't gone back to actually playing it yet. And I do have Sekiro and Elden Ring, but I have not played them yet. So I will be playing them at some point. But as for the actual Souls-like games I have played, the only like 3D one that I've played, and I rather enjoyed it. And it was, if you were to rank it on difficulty of other Souls-like games, it's probably going to be at the bottom. But was the Star Wars Fallen Order game. I have Jedi Survivor. I haven't played that one yet. But I did play Fallen Order, and I did like the gameplay of that one.
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing to come from Disney Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely the best Jedi game to come out in a while. Because the last Jedi game I even cared about was Jedi Academy. But this one does a really good job of trying to take it up a notch, I think.
I like the Force Unleashed.
A lot of people like those.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
liked
that one.
them, but
There's a little bit of hokey crap in that, pulling the Star Destroyer down with the Force. Like I know he had to like kind of like, and
yeah,
then, like,
it's pretty epic.
They played it up in the game. The novelization of the game is actually the what happened canonically. And what actually happened in that scene is the Star Destroyer was already crashing and he was just guiding it. But in the game, you actually pull it down because it makes for way more awesome in a game to actually do it yourself.
I mean, but at the time though, I mean, it was kind of jaw dropping. I was like, whoa.
Well, their whole motto when building that game was kicking someone's ass with the Force, and they delivered on that, I would say.
I would agree with
so
that.
much fun.
I like those games, but my favorites are still the Outcast and Academy because it's still to this day the only Star Wars games where lightsabers behave like actual lightsabers. Because everything else, you hack away at them and they have health bars and stuff. You don't have that in Outcast and Academy.
Yep, that is true.
And people are actually still playing Academy a lot in multiplayer. I checked it out the other day. Yeah,
I didn't know that there was
heck of servers out there.
Really?
That does not surprise me, but I never played it online. I just love playing it the campaign because I wasn't brave enough to go and play online because multiplayer is not typically my thing. I love co-op. I'm not a big fan of versus.
I hate online unless it's kind of like an MMO. Then I'm all for it. I don't do the Call of Duty thing. I don't care to PvP anybody. Even in Fallout 76, I appreciate the fact that like unless you actively agree to engage in PvP, somebody can sit there and slice at you and be a pest, but you're like, and you run about your day.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that's probably kind of lame, and I guess what the Souls games, because you said there's a Souls Online or whatever that you can play online or something like that. You're talking about
enjoy it.
wrecking people.
I mean, I enjoy single player just as much as I mean, PvP is like my personal thing, but like I also don't knock anybody for wanting the single player experience either. Sometimes you're just in the mood for that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I think 76 actually bridged that gap pretty well. You can play the whole game by yourself. You do not need to play with people. Right. And that's one thing I appreciated. Like half the time you might run into somebody. And at worst, it's a little bit of a nuisance because, like, say a level 150 player was in this area before you, and you're level 75, and you show up, and there's still level 150, or close to 150 characters. You're like, oh, I gotta get out of here. But that's kind of like any Fallout game, right? Like, if you're a level 5 and you stumble to where there's a death claw, it's gonna rip your face off.
Yeah.
So
right. I actually have a question for you. Since you were there for like all the updates and stuff, is it true that they overhauled the quest system with a bunch of NPCs and storylines and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, wow. Because that was a big thing when I first started. Is like it was all the computers. All the story you were getting was in the letters left behind.
Yeah, so it was the Scorch Plague only affected the area of Appalachia, and it was something that was. So basically, mutated bats became the scorch beasts. Highly irradiated. In all honesty, the scorch beasts are fucking terrifying because they fly and sorry, dude, with the language. It's just true. You like going, you hear that screech, and it's like this sonic blast hits the ground.
Running.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you got to get out of there. You can hide in a house, ish. But the sonic blast is so powerful that like it'll get you even inside the house. Like and they're terrifying. So no, you spend the majority of the game, unless you reach, I'll say probably level 60, you're not going to take one on. And even at level 60, you still have to heal multiple times, and it's going to take multiple shots. And you're only going to do the most damage when the thing actually lands on the ground and starts whacking you with its wings. I think it was very much well done. I like the original story because it felt very different than other Fallout games because it was very barren. It was very solemn. It was like walking into one of those vaults and realizing a massacre had happened and there was no way to reverse it.
Right.
And but they did overhaul it. You can still play the original storyline and learn what happened, but now they're NPCs because everybody moved back. They said that was their plan to eventually do that as kind of like chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I kind of say shenanigans. because or if it was, I think they got forced into it fast. I highly recommend you download it and give it a shot. Unless you're in kind of like a main starting point for people learning how to do stuff. You can, and I just read too, they're doing a massive map update. So the map is going to go from, I mean, the map is huge. It's probably the
Yeah.
size of Fallout New Vegas's map times 3 right now. And they're going to do
Wow.
another massive expanse.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
It kind of makes
know
me want
a
to
lot.
reinstall it.
You really should just give it a shot, dude. What platform you play on?
I have PS5 and PC.
Okay. So I actually started on the PS4. I was thinking about getting a group together. I play on my PC using the PlayStation app, which is just kind of like using, I guess, Steamish, or
Okay.
what was the Google version? What the hell is that thing they did?
Oh gosh.
Oh, the cloud streaming thing?
Yeah. It's kind
Google
of like
Stadia.
Yeah, Stadia. It's kind of like Stadia, but I haven't had any latency issues. Like it
Are you
works
talking about the
perfectly.
Amazon version?
I have not tried the Amazon version.
Okay,
No.
because the Amazon Luna is Amazon's version of Google Stadia, but obviously Google Stadia doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but no. So like I can play off you could play off your PC. And
Is it cross-platform?
it's not. I wish it
Okay.
was. It really should be. But you can cross-platform them in a sense by using the PlayStation app, the PlayStation Plus app. You can play it from your computer, but you can still play with somebody who's playing on a regular PlayStation 4 or 5.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
but it's because there's an app for the PC. But if you get it like Steam, you can only play with other Steam members.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Leon is saying that Fallout 76 is like $8 right now and worth every penny.
yes.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. If it's $8, and yeah, I actually you actually might find this funny. Before I stopped playing 76, I was doing the battle royale a lot.
Okay. I remember the battle royales. Yeah.
That was really funny when it first released. I'll admit.
It was funny seeing the clips coming out about it too, because it was definitely entertaining. I poked around with it a little bit. Also at the same time, it's just I'm going to be honest, and this might upset people. I like it. I think Fallout 76 is actually better than Fallout 4. In my opinion, Fallout 4 is the weakest Fallout game.
That's
And I still
not
love
uncommon. I've heard
I
that a lot of
still
people
love
don't like
4.
Fallout 4.
I still love 4, but and look, there's a mod, if you can find it on the PlayStation, you can find it on PC, to turn that settlement crap off. I built all the settlements that I needed to, and then once they were built, I put that mod on, and then Preston Garvey never
Preston
bothered
Garvey.
me again. Yeah. So
I often see him listed on lists of most annoying video game characters because he's always like, "Your settlement needs defending." It's like, just piss off and let me wander the
another
wasteland.
settlement needs our help.
Yes.
They're like, going, I got some help for you, fucker.
So,
so what do you think that 76 has over 4? I'm just curious.
I honestly think that at this point, it feels more like Fallout, because I had an issue with the location too. It just didn't feel Fallout enough to me. I'm not saying that's a knock on the game. I was iffy about the location. It was kind of like saying Fallout Miami, and I'm like going, I don't think so. Now Boston is massively steeped in rich history, which U.S. history, which I think is great. Because again, I think Fallout 3 is probably one of the best. I think New Vegas is the best for me personally.
Yeah,
and then probably Fallout 3, Fallout 1, and then 2. And the only reason I rank them in that order is because the originals are so good. They built this world. I mean, they should be on a goated level all of themselves. It's the gameplay, it's the point and click, it's the turn based. It's very outdated graphics. I think what Bethesda did was incredible, but there's a lot of people who don't. They think that they're like, oh well, that Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, all these things, they're not Fallout. They're not what their original iteration was. And look, I get that too. So, I I would lean that if Fallout 76 was, if you could play it solo individually and never run into another player character ever,
Yeah.
which again it's minuscule. It's only like massive common areas, which you're usually playing the original storyline. It would I would say it would probably even actually, might even shoot up the list a little bit for me. It's
Wow.
but okay, so it just hit me. One of the reasons I don't like 4, I don't like the weapons. I don't like how they went from Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas to real life versions of weapons, and they changed them to these created world weapons. That kind of bothered me. So
What did you think of all like the customization and stuff that you could do with your weapons? And
I love the customization. If it's still so what after the fact they got the lever action repeater. That was a thing that came off from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. There were different versions of it. There was like Abraham Lincoln's lever action repeater, and then there was like the cowboy lever action repeater in New Vegas.
yeah,
that wasn't initially added to I believe 76. It was something that came with an update. You can take your sniper rifle and you can kind of turn it into what looks like a Barrett sniper rifle from the real world, where in the previous games you got something that was a lot more close. The machine gun is something of a retake off of a World War II weapon, but it's so bastardized because it was a squad mounted weapon that it made more sense in the show for a Brotherhood paladin in power armor to carry it than a normal guy just being like, "Oh, hey guys, what's going on?" Like it's just, especially because the
they're
weapon,
massive guns.
yeah, because the weapon is like this fucking long. Like, so no, I've been in the army. A squad, the M249 SAW squad automatic weapon is like this size.
I was a SAW gunner.
Yeah, so for like a normal fucking person, and then but the Fallout version is like, I'm not. You're not going to carry that around as a dude.
No,
not without power armor.
Yeah, like going. So no, this again. I have my criticisms, but I love Fallout. Sorry. I'm kind of like an encyclopedia at this point, so just tell me to shut the hell up if we need to move on.
We'll get to a little bit more about Fallout here in just a moment. But yes, Stabs is saying that Fallout 76, because it is Bethesda, is on Game Pass. And Clifton is saying that get the CBBE mod. No, I didn't use that. Wink, wink. I have no idea what that mod is, but Dabs knows about it because she says can't live without that mod. So go check out the CBBE mod for, I'm assuming that's for Fallout 4.
I have heard, I have heard that you need the CBBE mod, whether or not you make boobs and butts big.
Caliente's beautiful bodies enhancer.
Oh yeah, you actually need that mod on the PC for a couple other mods for aesthetics. That's what I've heard.
Okay, I thought it had something to do with your settlements, but apparently it has nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with settlements. No. I've never downloaded that mod. I just know what it is because
at least it's not pay to win.
Yeah, it's resurfaced because of the whole thing where they photoshopped Lucy's butt and everybody, people were pissed off, and it's like, dude, they just modded her butt. Like going, oh, it's been modded for years. Like, you fucking noobs.
So, and then Backyard TARDIS is here. Haven't seen him in a while, but hello, Nick. Good to see you, buddy.
TARDIS, hello.
And going back a little ways, Leon is saying that the best thing we've gotten from Disney Star Wars is actually the Chiss Ascendancy trilogy from Timothy Zahn. It had no right being as good as it was, considering it came from Disney. I haven't followed any of the Disney books because I just considered that they were all trash. So if I ever do give Disney Star Wars books a shot, I guess I know where to start. But yeah, so the last thing I was going to say about Souls-likes is that that's the only 3D Souls-like I played was Fallen Order, and I did enjoy it. And I am looking forward to playing Jedi Survivor at some point. But I played a number of 2D Souls-likes, and my favorite of those was, also another Metroidvania, Blasphemous. And although some people argue that it's you might not be able to consider a Metroidvania, and I understand why. But most people consider it a Metroidvania. And I didn't like it at first when I first gave it a shot. Played like a half hour of it, and I wasn't digging it, so I put it on the back burner. And I came back to it like 3 or 4 years later. And when I actually dove into it, which was about a year ago, I think I played it last February. I ended up really enjoying it. I've not played Blasphemous 2 yet, but I am very much looking forward to playing that. And that was a great game. That's probably my favorite Souls-like overall, because I haven't played a whole lot of them.
Is it a recent one?
Blasphemous came out in 2016.
Okay,
let me check really quick. Blasphemous 2 just came out in August, though.
Okay.
Let me check here real quick. Blasphemous came out in more recently than that, 2019. So it's fairly new. But yeah, it's a 2D, side-scrolling platformer Metroidvania with and typically I don't say it's a mark against it, but when it comes to 2D Metroidvanias, so many of them are pixel art. So if I always give a little bit of an edge to one that has not pixel art. Blasphemous does have pixel art, but it's very good pixel art. So yeah, if you haven't played Blasphemous and you like 2D Metroidvanias and pretty difficult combat and you like Souls-like games, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I might have to give that a shot. And I was actually going to ask you. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just going to say it often goes on sale. I'm an Xbox guy, so I have it on Xbox, and at least on Xbox, it often goes on sale for like $6. It's currently on sale for like $6. So, but you can usually get it pretty cheap.
Well, I was going to ask you I think I've always wanted to ask a Ninja Gaiden fan that wasn't me this question.
Okay.
Is it actually possible to unlock the Dark Dragon Blade?
Good question. In Ninja Gaiden Black, you cannot get it in the story mode because for anyone who hasn't played it, that's basically the MacGuffin of the game that drives the plot forward. Is you and your clan are the protectors of the Dark Dragon Blade because it's like an evil blade, and you want to keep it out of evil hands. But the game kicks off where bad guys steal it, and then it's your job to go and get it back. Right. In the original release of Ninja Gaiden on Xbox, not Ninja Gaiden Black, the one just called Ninja Gaiden, yes, you could unlock the Dark Dragon Blade to use in the campaign. I think you unlocked it after beating the game. So if you played New Game Plus, you had it from the beginning.
Okay.
I think that's what it was, but I do know that you can use it in the campaign. However, in Ninja Gaiden Black, they removed it from the campaign. You cannot use it in the campaign at all. The only way you can use it in Ninja Gaiden Black is in mission mode, and only certain missions where they give it to you as one of your weapons that you can use.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't, that was something I never was able to do, play with the Dark Dragon Blade. But I remember seeing a video so long ago, and I thought it was fake.
Yeah, no, it is in there. And its moveset is almost the exact same as the Double Arrow, which is like the giant. It looks like Cloud's Buster Sword.
Yeah, that giant. Yeah,
it's just this giant sword. It plays just because in Ninja Gaiden Black or Ninja Gaiden / Ninja Gaiden Black, each of the weapons have different amount of levels you can upgrade them, and it doesn't give them more damage. It just allows you to unlock more combos.
Right.
And the Double Arrow you can upgrade 3 times. And one of the cool things is that as you upgrade it, it also changes the look of the weapon to make it look a little bit cooler. And the Double Arrow you can actually upgrade 3 times, but the Dark Dragon Blade has basically the exact same moveset as the level 1 Double Arrow, except the Dark Dragon Blade does a crap load more damage.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's why I didn't use it for a long time, is because it's like you can only, your max combo before you have to like reset is like 3 hits. But once I realized how much damage it does in those 3 hits, I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually worth using.
That's cool, man. Now, that must be really fun. That was something I never got to do. So it's good to finally close that chapter.
And before we move off of the Ninja Gaiden topic, did you ever fully upgrade the wooden sword?
I did.
Okay.
I did, and I regret it too. I should have just put it into something else.
Okay, interesting. So you can buy the wooden sword at the beginning of the game for like super cheap, and it does almost no damage. And it had all the other weapons. You can upgrade once. Like some weapons you can only upgrade once, some you can upgrade twice, but the most you can upgrade any of the weapons is up to level 3. Except for the wooden sword, you can upgrade it 7 times. However, there's 0 difference in the from levels 1 to 6, you're just pouring more and more money into it, and you get zero. There's zero return on investment until you get it to level 7, and then it becomes the unlabored flawlessness. And it becomes a beast at that point, because the unlabored flawlessness, the lower your health is, the more damage it does. So it's this risk reward thing. So when your health is really low, if you get a full combo in, you can do like 80% damage to a boss and go from here down to here, and the boss is almost dead.
Oh, that's blowing my mind. I never even knew that was possible. I must have
you're-
stopped upgrading it at some point.
Yeah, it's once you get to level 7, it's a beast. But you have to, I mean, it does decent damage when your health isn't low, but once you get like below 25% health, the runes on the because it's still made out of wood, but the runes glow and it does crazy damage. But your health is low, so you're getting really risky on whether you end up dead too.
Does it look different when it's in its last form?
Yes, it looks completely different than it does from the rest. Because in its other forms, it just looks like a wooden katana, like a training sword.
Yeah.
Once it becomes the unlabored flawlessness, it becomes like this giant paddle that you think about like getting whacked on your behind when you were a kid.
Nice.
So, yeah. And last thing, Dabs is saying that yes, Blasphemous is awesome. It is, and I actually bought it and played it because of Mark, my co-host. He did a video on it a while back, and that's why I picked it up. And Nick is saying that I like the Timothy Zahn Disney books, not as much as the original EU trilogy. Yeah. Oh, cool. So, all right. Well, that was quite a long tangent, but that's how this goes sometimes. So, we will get on to our next topic for today. And going back to the topic of Fallout, since it's a popular topic right now, is Ryan sort of already answered this question. And we just want to go around and find out what each of your favorite Fallout game is in the Fallout franchise. Who's your favorite character in any of the games? And what's your favorite weapon from the Fallout games? So for me, this is what I was waiting for when you asked me about Fallout at the beginning, is I haven't played a lot of Fallout. I did play and 100%ed Fallout 3. Way back in the day. I haven't played it since, so it's been a very long time since I played it. I played about 10 hours or so of Fallout 4, but that's it. So I don't have a lot of background in Fallout in its entirety, but I did play a heck of a lot of Fallout 3. So that's obviously my favorite, because I did really enjoy it, since that's the only one I've actually played at length. My favorite character was your super mutant buddy, Fox. Fawkes. Basically, he got his name because he's actually most super mutants are really dumb, but he's actually really smart, and he named himself after, I think, Guy Fawkes from of the V for Vendetta fame. Tried to blow up Parliament, and he is a great buddy. He's basically invincible, and he can carry a bunch of your stuff for you. He's a real loyal companion. I love that guy so much. And my favorite weapon, it was the first thing that popped into my head was the Merv, just because it's so ridiculously over the top. So for anyone who hasn't played Fallout, there's the Fat Boy, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Fat Man? I don't remember.
It's Fat Man.
Fat Man. Okay. Fat Man. So there's the Fat Man, which is a mini nuke launcher.
Yep.
And there's the Merv, which is basically the exotic version of it, where you can only find one of them in the entire game. And it fires 8 mini nukes at one time. It is.
I believe it's only 3.
In Fallout 3, it was at least 6. I know it was at least 6. It was either 6 or 8. I'd have to double check.
Sure? I think
because
it's only 3, dude.
There's very few mini nukes even in the entire game.
Yes.
Which means you can only fire the thing twice before there's no more ammo in the game for it.
Okay.
Did you find it?
You can apparently fire 6 in 4, but I don't. I was looking for 3.
Yeah, the same.
It's 3, right?
In Fallout 3, I'm pretty sure it was either 6 or 8.
Okay.
But anyways,
I swear it was only 3.
Maybe in a different one, but in Fallout 3, I know it was at least 6.
Maybe that was New Vegas. It was only 3.
But I remember.
He's right. He's right. 8.
It was 8. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was 8.
All right. Hey, look, I'm not afraid of being wrong. Fuck, stand corrected.
I think that there was only about 18 or so mini nukes on the entire map.
That's a lot.
So you can only fire it twice. But
The
it will,
hell would you do?
because it's firing 8 mini nukes, you'll kill basically anything in one hit. I remember I was just dicking around with it one time. I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I shot my feet with it. And it launched me
Oh.
so high that
The game glitched?
well, the game, like normally when you die, you can just sit there and look at your body parts until you hit a button to like reload your last save. It sent me in airborne so long that it automatically reloaded my last save before my body hit the ground.
Damn.
It was hilarious. But that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about favorite Fallout weapon. But the one that is actually my favorite, because it's the one I've used probably more than anything else in the game, was the shish kebab. Do you remember the shish kebab?
Yes.
Yep.
So the shish kebab,
yeah.
was
You describe it.
was a weapon that you have to craft yourself, and it requires a motorcycle tank, a
Yep.
pilot light, and a lawnmower blade.
Yes, thank you.
It's basically a machete hooked up to a motorcycle tank that you wear on your back, full of gas, and it's a flaming sword. And it
It's
was
so
awesome because I love playing like a stealthy ninja type character. So I had all these points into melee damage, stealth damage, and pyro damage. And so if I snuck up on someone and hit them with the shish kebab, it had so many perks that were stacked together. I'd basically one shot almost anything in the game.
Oh, that's sick.
So that was I started after I played like a crap load of it. I'm like, I'm gonna start a new character and play it completely differently. And then I just went back to playing the same character again because I love that build so much.
Yeah, the shish kebab was such a great weapon. I used that early on. I actually really sucked with using it because back when I first started playing Fallout, I had no idea how to build my character. So I'm like, everyone says this weapon's awesome, but my skills, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, if you're not spec'd into melee damage, it's
Yep.
not going to be as good. But I was all about the melee damage in that build, so yeah, that thing was awesome. And then when they added the first DLC for Fallout 3 was Operation Anchorage. When you beat it, you get the Chinese stealth suit, which makes you invisible just by crouching. So you could basically go anywhere and get nonstop critical stealth hits. So it was just so much fun.
Yeah, that suit was amazing. It actually looked super high tech and made you feel like a Chinese spy.
I was like an invisible what's his name from G.I. Joe? Snake Eyes.
Yeah, basically Snake Eyes.
So curious, Ryan, you kind of already touched on your favorite
game.
Your favorite game from the franchise. What was?
Yep. So
which one did you put at the top?
Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas. Okay, a lot of people consider that one the best. But curious, what your favorite character and weapon from Fallout in its entirety is?
Okay, so Schnit. It's probably all going to come from New Vegas because I think New Vegas had the best weapons. One of my, and also I would put, and some people may disagree with me, I'd put Fallout 4's Piper as secondary. I really liked her character. I like the fact that I also like the fact that like they brought in kind of like the romance options if you wanted to. It kind of added an element of several of the games that had not previously been seen, right? It's all about saving the wasteland, but yet you can't help repopulate it yourself, which never made 100% sense to me. For the Bethesda games, the first, and look, Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas, but anyway, so I'm gonna go with probably Boone from Fallout New Vegas. I like him the best because he is an NCR sniper. You come to find out that his wife was sold off into slavery, and you end up for his personal quest. You end up also at the same time. Dude's got a killer fucking rifle, and he just blows people's heads off. It's great. Look, I love me some Piper. I'll tell you what. And so it's
likes Piper, and Clifton 3D says Kate.
Yeah, that would make sense that Clifton likes Kate. Not in a bad way. It just seems like, that it fits his because we talked about it, I believe, last night. Talked about a lot of Fallout last night on Wade's stream. So anyway, so I picked Boone. He's an NCR. He's got a red beret on. It also, by being completing his thing, you actually get his red beret, which makes you look super badass in the game. He's a killer. He's killer with that rifle. I mean, he is the best companion by far, combat wise, in New Vegas, and he has the most unique story. Because come to find out that someone close to him is the one who actually sold his wife into slavery, and so you get to help him get revenge, which is really pretty awesome.
Wow.
As for favorite Fallout weapon, it's going to be on the. I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to pick two, but they're in the same firearms category. I'm going to pick Abraham Lincoln's lever action repeater from Fallout 3.
I never used it, but I often see in Fallout forums like people's favorite gun is the Lincoln repeater.
It's killer.
Yeah.
The thing is mean. And then I'm going to have to go with the Cowboy repeater from, and again, they're both lever action repeaters from New Vegas. Those are my two favorites. Those are the guns that I probably walked around with the most in each individual game. Second would only be, for some weird reason, I was a weirdo, I loved the modified 9mm pistol that you get in the beginning of the game of Fallout New Vegas, but by the end of it, like, it's so modified that, like, you can even get, like, I believe armor piercing ammo for it or something close to armor piercing, and you're just using this 9mm like and just killing giant rad scorpions with it, and it's just funny, but I don't know. I think because I was never a huge fan of the 10mm pistol. Again, it's an iconic weapon, but it was never my favorite. It looked weird and janky. I still like it. And you can get a cool version of it in New Vegas where it's got a laser sight and it's got a silencer on it. And but yeah, no. So anyway, that's too many tangents. Sorry, I know too much.
Good picks. Leon says that he doesn't have a favorite weapon. He always plays a charisma build.
Nah, I just talk his way through the game.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about earlier about Fox and being, most super mutants being dumb, he was saying that, to be fair, super mutants being dumb is actually a Bethesda change. In the original, the super mutants had increased intelligence, but there's a lore reason why they're dumb now.
Yes,
but
there
that's
is
a lot to go over. So I did not know that, but cool. I'll have to look into that at some point.
1000% spot on.
Yeah, but yeah, because Fallout 3, like I said, it's the only one that I played at length. That was my introduction to the Fallout franchise. I do remember seeing Fallout the 1 and 2 back in the day, like seeing the boxes of it, but I never played it because it wasn't until Oblivion that actually got into RPGs.
Well, other than Knights of the Old Republic, Oblivion was the first Bethesda RPG I got into, and it was because I worked at a group home here, which is what they call orphanages now, and one of the kids there was playing Oblivion. I'm like, what the hell is that? And he's like, oh, it's this game. And so I bought the Game of the Year edition. That's how well after the fact I bought the Game of the Year edition. I was like,
was it this one right here that has like the map and the coin?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's
no, that was back in like 2008. Like going, but I was hooked on Bethesda games after that.
Yeah, I just went into because I did most of my game shopping then at Game Crazy, which was the video game section of Hollywood Video, and I just went.
We had a Hollywood Video.
Okay. And I asked him, I'm like, what?
I was just trying to connect, man. Like nostalgia, bro.
The way you said it was like you were implying something. Anyways, I went in and talked to the guy. I was like, hey, I just want something that it's going to take me a long time. He's like, here's Oblivion. And I had no idea what it was, and I went home and played it and fell in love with it. But yeah, that was how I got introduced to RPGs. Because up until that point, in my head, RPGs were turn-based JRPGs like Final Fantasy, which never had any interest to me. So, but Dread Roberts, what about you? What's your favorite Fallout game, character, and weapon?
And by the way, I just want to say it must have been really awesome as your first RPG being Oblivion. That must have been a really cool experience for you.
Yes.
But I was just thinking about that. But my favorite Fallout game, yeah, it's New Vegas. But you know what? I think it's also equal with 3. 3 and Vegas are tied for me. I think with Fallout 4 is probably the weakest of the games. I played 2 a long time ago, back when I was a kid. I barely remember it. Never played 1. But I did play 76, probably the least out of all of them. I played 4 a lot. But I love New Vegas. I just think that its story is really unique. It's one of the only times where you're a character that is dealing with issues in the wasteland and doesn't start in a vault as usual. But I really like that story of you being a courier and just being someone who's lived in the wasteland for a while, and it feels like it's easier to immerse in all of these people's stories. And I find them to be really interesting stories too. For characters, I think that I agree with the super mutant companion that you get. He's just super awesome. I love that character, and I think that I'm more aligned with Ryan on Piper. I think that her natural connection to the main character and her purpose as a reporter and how they travel together throughout the game is really good. And her falling in love with your character also feels more natural. She calls you Blue and everything. I thought that she was a really good character. But I think my favorite of all time, my surprisingly, is in 4. There's a couple of them. I think one of them was the super intelligent professor super mutant guy who was I can't remember what the full quest, but he was trying to find a cure for himself or for something. But just it was not something I had seen before. Like a super smart super mutant who's giving me quests and doesn't really like the situation he's in. I think that was in 4. And then the other character I just think was really cool to see, and just his backstory and everything, was the Vault Tech guy. Because you come across him in the beginning of Fallout 4 when he's just like, hey, like, give us your personality traits or whatever. And then later you see him as a ghoul 200 years later, and he's just like, yeah, things were pretty rough. So just being able to see him again really added some really great storytelling. So I think just seeing, and I think he was really unique too, because he was he was a ghoul, and he had that yellow hat and trench coat, like instantly recognizable. There were some really good characters in Fallout 4, I will say. And then for weapons, it was between the alien ray in Fallout 3 that I really liked. I loved that DLC. And you know what? I love the big guns, man. So I was a railgun guy. Just being able to disintegrate people was just hilarious. Yeah, that's one of my things. Now I'm sad the mysterious stranger didn't get like an arc of his own, but I thought he was a cool character too, as a side note.
Yeah, when I was looking through the weapons last night, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything, I had totally forgotten about the Tesla cannon. I love that thing. That thing was great.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good one.
But yeah, Clifton's like, nobody likes dog meat. I mean, who doesn't like dog meat?
I love dog meat.
I love me some dog meat, but I mean, it's just, it's that's probably the most solid companion, I would say, right? Because dog meat just keeps, because even in New Vegas you can get Rex, which is kind of like an animatronic, but dog brain kind of I think dog meat is kind of iconic, and the most the best one, but kind of going off favorites.
He doesn't say much, he barks, he's just like, hey, he's just like bark,
he's a good loyal companion. But
also, real quick, isn't New Vegas the only one where you can actually have Rex as a companion, but still have a human companion?
I believe so. Yeah,
I believe so.
Rex you get from that guy in that bar, right?
Yeah, the shit. Yep, sorry. What's it called? I'll think of it. Don't worry about it.
But Leon is saying, man, Fallout 4 really does get the shaft. Yeah, most people don't consider it very good, from what I hear. New Vegas is a better game, but man, the story in 4 just hits right with the best family dynamic.
I would agree with that.
And I don't disagree. The Chinese ghoul submarine captain is a great character. So I don't know that one, but that sounds like an interesting character.
Yeah,
And he's saying that in Fallout 3, there was an update where you could get dog meat and a regular companion as well.
Oh.
Boom.
I can
But
get
yeah,
it
but
to
I
work on
agree.
my
Rex was
PC.
really cool.
Rex was cool.
So,
Dog meat with metal jaws.
yeah. Yep. Dread, did you give your weapon?
Oh yeah, I did.
the ray gun.
I mean,
The ray gun.
it was
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Alien ray gun.
gun and the rail gun. But I
The
will
rail
say
gun.
that
That's right. That was a cool
I think that Fallout 4, I thought that the combat rifle is like my favorite thing to use in that game, especially with power armor. I think it's a really high damage weapon if you build it right, get the right scope, and you just kind of build into rifles. That thing can just cause massive damage to things. And again, that's while acknowledging, Fallout 4 doesn't. I mean, it has really good weapon customization. I think that some weapons in 3 are superior, in 4 too. Power Fist is sick. It's actually really hard sometimes for me to decide on my favorite weapon, because then I think of another weapon that I love so much. Power Fist is really great, especially the one when you can just blow people to smithereens by punching them.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I never used it in Fallout, but there was a weapon that operated almost very similarly in the original Unreal Tournament, and it was basically like this piston, and you can just charge it up and run around. If you hit someone, they just explode into pieces.
That brings me back, man. Unreal Tournament 2. Wow, that was some fun time playing with people on that game.
Yes, like I said earlier, I didn't really ever do PvP, so I never had the guts to go online, but I love playing that game against bots.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, okay. Well, we typically go about 30 minutes due to people's streaming schedules. Do you guys need to get out of here soon, or you got some more time?
Nope, I don't have another stream until 4.
Okay. Dread, you got short on time, or you got a little bit more time? Either
I
way,
got a little bit more time.
We'll do one.
I'm digging the avatar, by the way, dude. I don't know what that is, but I think it's awesome.
Mine?
Yeah, your whole window thing, which you got going on is awesome.
Tower.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Thank you. I crafted that time machine myself.
Yeah. Nice. Neo's kind of transitioning. Dread, what did you have any nitpicks with the show, or did you love everything about it?
Oh yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So the show, I thought that the first 3 episodes were okay. I felt that there was some pandering in there that I didn't appreciate. I've also felt that the writing was so subpar, because it's like you're okay with it, because you're just like, it's Jonathan Nolan. But then when episode 4 begins and the rest of the show happens, you're like, what the heck was Jonathan Nolan doing? Because episode 4 and on, it's like it really becomes Fallout, and it like explodes to life, and the characters do too. But like the first 3, I thought they were okay, but man, 4 and on, like Lucy and Maximus and the Ghoul, insane character. I love the Ghoul.
Yes,
I've heard that Walton Goggins' character is great.
Well, yeah, it's also Walton Goggins. So, and then again, of course, Lucy's dad. I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head, but he always chews scenery too. And I think Lucy's character was, and again, obviously, this is very much in the realm of Fallout. I think this is the best television adaptation of a video game I've ever seen. I would probably
a whole lot to choose from, but
no, there's not.
No,
it's light years better than Halo.
Yeah.
I would say I'd probably say that Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider is probably widely considered the best.
Well, you were saying TV, not movies.
Well, yeah, this one I'm going with movies. But for me personally, still true to my heart, the original Mortal Kombat is the best thing to ever happen to cinema and video games.
That is fun. That is campy fun.
Exactly, and that's kind of what Fallout is. A lot of people don't understand that Fallout is they're very campy. They're like, well, it just seems like the vault. I saw some people be like, oh, well, it just seems like the vault dwellers are stupid. I'm like, they are stupid. They're stuck in the 50s.
You're trying to tell me it's better than the Super Mario Bros. Super Show? Fascist.
Well, that's shit. Damn it!
I forgot that show existed.
I shouldn't have, because I have the DVDs. Oh
So,
Well,
man.
yeah, you know, Lucy's character really, I really did not initially like her, because just seeing all of the crazy Disney stuff and all of the
Mhm.
other adaptations lately, I just see so many red flags right off the bat. You know, I just thought that they were going to go a girl boss route with her. And, you know, when they're pushing that whole, just like this, you know, trans person's getting a Maximus's position right at the beginning, I just felt like this show was headed in a bad direction right at the start.
Yeah, not non-binary. Sorry. I just you know
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, you
they
know,
they
whatever.
they were like
Um,
androgynous person that you're like, I don't know what's going on
that could
here.
barely lift a box, yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that was my main gripe with the first 3 episodes is that it, instead of just trying to put emphasis on the politics of the Fallout universe, they were trying to take real life stuff and put it in there instead. And I think that Fallout's politics in universe are just so engaging all by itself. You know, this version of America is very extreme, and it has a really great history too. So, you know, I didn't appreciate that at the beginning, but I think that those first 3 suffered because of the writing. But Lucy's character becomes a real hero. And her good nature also shines through later on too, which I found to be like a breath of fresh air. I'm just seeing Lucy and Maximus like working together and you know, just being like a beacon of light in this wasteland. It was really good to see. I liked seeing that. And then, of course, you have that balance with the ghoul, who has some of probably the coolest scenes in television, in my personal opinion.
Mhm.
I think that his scenes are just way, just so far superior to like
And
anything I've seen.
yeah, he's not good or bad. He's like neutral chaotic. Like
chaotic
he's
neutral.
like yeah,
Yeah.
so but yeah, I just wanted to get your real quick opinion. Neil, what you got going on next, man?
So, so this is gonna be the last party chat for a little while, which I'll get into at the end. So I think we'll finish off with this one because it's kind of a good one before a bit of a break. The what I've been ending the last few episodes with is your favorite game from. I've been going through the different generations of video game consoles. So for today, I think we'll finish off with talking about your favorite game from the 8th generation, which was PS4, Xbox One, Wii U generation. So
Mm.
if I went through and looked at my favorite games from that generation, and the top 3, one I mentioned earlier, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, is one of my favorite, is my favorite Metroidvania and is one of my favorite games. Another one that I talk about all the time is Subnautica. I freaking fell in love with that game, and I that's one that I think was the answer to one of the questions last episode on what game will you always leave installed. Because that's one of those games where if I can't figure out what I want to play, I'll just jump into Subnautica and play it, get stuck on that for another while. And then Doom Eternal is like my favorite shooter from like the last 10 years, probably.
Wow.
So I'll let you guys go because I don't know if I could actually pick a favorite between those, but it's between those 3. So curious from you guys what your top favorites are from the 8th generation of consoles.
I can go first if Dread needs time to think. I have 2, and the reason I'm going to pick 2 is because, well, because one was the one that I would never uninstall, and it was Fallout 4 initially, and then Fallout 76 actually kind of replaced that because I was kind of burnt on Fallout 4. So I'm going to pick Fallout 76, but one that very much surprised me and I very, very much enjoyed was The Outer Worlds,
Oh,
done by Obsidian and
yes,
the original creators of Fallout 1 and 2,
yeah.
the original writers. Like, and again, that wasn't a shot at Bethesda, in my opinion. I know some people thought it was, like when they put that in the trailer. It's like, no, these are the iconic games you loved, and this is what we're doing now. So come check it out. I don't think there's any there. Well, and again, Obsidian was offshoots of BioWare, but no, the Outer Worlds, all the DLCs. It's just a fun game. Is it as open world as many people thought it would be? No, not necessarily. But I'm very much looking forward to the Outer Worlds 2, and I'll probably replay the Outer Worlds before it comes out. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's another one of those games where I've started and I put a little bit of time into it, but I need to go back and when I do end up going back and like, all right, this is the game I'm playing now. I'm going to start from the beginning. But I've only played a little bit of it, and I actually hadn't played it in a number of years until it came up on my roulette wheel 2 weeks ago. And
Roulette wheel?
Yeah, so what I'm started doing is after party chat, doing a roulette stream. Basically, I'm shamelessly ripping it off from Melee James and his Steam roulette, where
Mhm.
let the roulette wheel pick what game I'm going to play. And Outer Wilds came out, or Outer Worlds came out, so I was playing that for a little bit 2 weeks ago.
All right.
Uh,
That's kind of smart. It takes your decisions of what game to play. Be like going and you're like going, all right, I'll play that.
yeah, so yeah, Dabs and Paul Hadoukian are big fans of it. Paul's streamed it on his channel a few times, so I know he loves that game as well.
Yeah, I like Outer Worlds. So you're probably anticipating Avowed then, because I know that's their next game, Obsidian's next game coming out. Their medieval take on Skyrim, I guess. It's probably going to be smaller scale, but I know that that's what they're doing.
Is this news to you, Ryan? You haven't heard about Avowed yet?
No.
Yeah, it's
What?
like
Yeah,
it's
that's the next
Obsidian's
thing.
next take on Oblivion, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot about it come out yet, other than the announcement trailer a few years ago. But it definitely looks pretty good from what little I've seen.
Yeah, it's apparently gone through some changes too, but it does look pretty entertaining. So I know that that's one they're coming out with soon.
It's like, what? New Obsidian game that I didn't know about?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what? Don't. Look, I'm an old man. All right. I'm closer to 40 than 30. So
Fair.
All right, Leon, I will catch you later. Thanks for hanging out. You have a great rest of your day.
Later, Leon.
So yeah, while Ryan's looking into Avowed. What about you, Dread?
So yeah, I played Outer Worlds too. I really like that game, but I think my favorite game of that generation, PS4 and stuff, it's got to be Ghost of Tsushima for me. I just think it's like the best samurai game there is. The combat system is flush. The world is insanely cool looking. I don't know how they did it half the time. And the PS5 upgrade that they had later on just brought it even more to life. But I thought that was one of the best games to come out, and it was just an accumulation of games that came before it, and they just refined it and made some truly exciting sword play. And I just love that game, and just online co-op too, which is really fun as well. So I'd say that one. And Fallout 4 was one I played probably the most, besides Ghost of Tsushima on that current gen. But yeah, those were my two top ones for this gen, for that gen.
Yeah, we were talking about a little bit backstage before we started, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I've very much been looking forward to playing Ghost of Tsushima at some point. But given that I've never owned a PlayStation and it was a PlayStation exclusive, it's the one game where I'm like, I'm really hoping it comes to PC at some point. But if it doesn't, I may consider getting a PlayStation for it. And then within the last month, they announced it was finally coming to Steam. Like, yes. And I've got it in my Steam library ready to go for launch day. So I'm very much looking forward to playing that.
How much longer till launch?
May 16th.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was like early summer.
That's very soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna just under a month. Love it. And when they added that update, because I was kind of, I pay attention to news stuff, even if it's not in my sphere, being Xbox. So I knew about that update, and they added a bunch of like co-op stuff, and I'm like, ooh, co-op. Like I said earlier, co-op is my thing. I love co-op games, so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to playing that mode as well. Although I know almost nothing about the co-op mode, but I'm sure I'll like it.
It's got a pretty good co-op mode. Like they have like separate missions, and you can even rank up, unlock like suits and skins for your sword, and abilities and gear too. That actually has a whole system of its own. So it's a nice surprise for people who don't know much about it.
Is there any crossover between the single player and the multiplayer? Or are they basically two separate modes?
Two separate. I'd say it's its own little realm. You can't like co-op through the story, but I think that's a good thing too, because the story is amazing.
Yeah. I haven't seen Vanquish in chat today, but he's a buddy of mine. He's like, I've played it, on PS4 and PS5. When it comes to PC, I'll play it again. So we're both super excited about it. And I because the roulette stream I told you about, that I did my first official roulette stream after Party Chat 2 weeks ago, and all tips were going towards buying Ghost of Tsushima, and then one of my friends just gifted me the game. It blew me
that's so
away.
cool.
So after the stream was over, I took a screenshot. It says Ghost of Tsushima is in your library, and I sent it to Vanquish. I'm like, let's go.
Dude, that's so cool, man. I wish I had friends that would gift me games.
Yeah, me too.
My Steam library is pretty small, so I've been slowly building it up because my PC here that is actually powerful enough to run games I've only had since September. So I've mentioned before that this PC right here I built was back in high school. I think my freshman year, 2001. And I played PC games on that during high school, but after that fell out of being powerful enough to run games. I've been console basically ever since until I got this thing up and running, and now I can play PC games, and now I'm building my Steam library up to rival. I mean, it'll never rival my console library, but been building it, so I've got some other stuff. So, like I mentioned, who I stole the idea from, my good friend Melee James, where he does Steam Roulette because he's got a giant Steam library. I have a giant Xbox library, but now that I'm building a Steam library, it accumulates basically all my libraries: my Xbox library, my Steam library, and my retro achievement library as well. So it could be any one of those games that could come up on the wheel. So I'm planning on doing that again after we're done here in just a little bit. So, but yeah, if I had to pick one, the one I've put probably 200 hours in each one of these games. But if I hadn't just beat Ori again last night, I might say Ori. But if there was any one of them that I was going to be like, which one do I want to play next? Is probably Subnautica.
Nice.
But yeah, I probably played at least 200 hours in each of them. So I love all three: Doom Eternal, Subnautica, and Ori and Will of the Wisp. So probably
Doom Eternal was really good.
I get some flack from people from Melee James most notably because he was not a fan of Doom Eternal, but I love Doom Eternal. It's my favorite Doom game, and like I said, one of my favorite shooters of like the last 10 years.
Wow.
But I would say probably out of the three of them, probably Ori is the best.
And that didn't come out too long ago. What is that, like 8 years ago?
Well, it's funny because Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Doom Eternal both came out within a week of each other. And I remember It was literally right when lockdown happened. Because I remember the first day I worked from home was the day Doom Eternal launched. So
that was a good day.
It was. And Ori, I think, had just come out like a couple days earlier. And those are two of my favorite games from the generation. So that was a good day. Getting to work from home, and because it was basically on lockdown, so all of our clients were locked down too, and so I didn't have a whole lot of work to do. So while I was at my computer waiting for calls to come in, I was just had up on my other monitor, so I was able to play Doom Eternal and Ori, and it was great. So
yeah, I know Persona 3. I know was like what was it? People were playing a lot of Persona too during lockdown. I know it was like a big stream. I know it's like a little off topic, but when you were saying that, like lockdown, one of the games I remember people playing a lot was Persona.
That was actually one of Party Chat topics. I think when James was on Party Chat a while back was what was your COVID game that you really dove into when COVID. And for me, it was Ori and Doom Eternal. So, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there for today. 1:43 for outro. So, Ryan, you got anything going on you want to plug?
Yeah, no, later on, I'll actually literally in an hour and 40 minutes, I'm going to be on Adam the Renaissance Notes channel for Saturday Night Drive-In with Jed the Hollywood Scholar. We're going to be reviewing The Hunt for Red October.
Ooh, good movie.
I had not thought I saw it initially because I was like 4.5 when it came out. I have seen it, bits and pieces, but I don't think I ever saw the whole thing because, again, I was very, very young. Incredible movie. Check that out. Tomorrow, 11, so what? It's going to be 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10, so basically 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for all you lovely people across the pond, it should be 6 p.m. GMT. So we're gonna be doing season 2, episode 1 of Hunting Mr. Mustache Man, the History Channel's documentary series of hunting HITLER. So with Clifton 3D and his Game Land, and
Cool.
so it's going to be great. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and you know what? I usually do this, but I forgot to check. Let me just make sure that I got. Yes, I did. I linked. Oh, shoot. I will fix that. I did put Dread Roberts' links in the stream description already. Sorry, for some reason I forgot to put Ryan, so I will add those in there. If for some reason any of you aren't subbed to him already, although I think the channel you do that on is not the one that I usually link because that's your gaming channel, right? You do it on your
I
other
have.
channels?
Yeah, I have several channels. The one that I'm most active on is Legion Talk,
Legion
as you
Talk.
can. But I also have Legion Teaches History, um, which I don't know if I'm going to completely transition. We were dual streaming to Legion Talk and Legion Teaches History to try to build up the other channel. So anyway, but that's just go to Legion Talk and Legion Teaches History. You can see it down
Yeah.
below
So go check
if you
that
want.
out
If
if
you
that
want.
sounds interesting to you. So, and Dread Roberts, what do you got coming up? What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing a lot of video game culture stuff. So I try to do daily reports here on what's happening in the video game world and what kind of crazy stuff's going on there. So you can probably just catch me on my channel there, and you could expect to see at least one video a day, if anything. And then me and Price of Reason, you guys might know him. He and I do a Tuesday and Thursday night stream on Rumble. It's called the Night Owl, and we do that 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard, I believe. So every Tuesday and Thursday. So that's something that's coming up this coming week. We do that. We have a lot of fun, and then that's kind of what I've got going on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got like I said, I've got your Twitter and your YouTube link in the stream description, so you can go click on that to check him out on his channel. I don't have the link to the. Oh, you said that was on Price of Reason's Rumble channel, right?
Yeah, Price of Reason's Rumble channel.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to shoot that to me, I'll put that in the stream description afterwards as well. But thank you for joining me. It was great having you on.
Yeah, no, it was a great talk. You know, this is probably the first stream I've just been on to talk about video games, so it's a lot of fun.
And that's what I say. Basically, that's why I wanted to start my channel, is because so many channels like talk about like news and stuff, but like no one actually like talks about the video games themselves. So I wanted to kind of fill that gap in the YouTube sphere and just talk about video games. So because that's what I love doing. So yeah. So no, that's typically, the idea behind my open mic, which I typically do on Thursday nights. I have a guest on, and we just, go wherever the conversation takes us. But my channel is going to be kind of silent for a while because 2 weeks from now, I will be on vacation. So there will not be a party chat on the 4th. And then the following, because party chat is every other Saturday. Then the 2 weeks after that, on the 18th, I will be out of town for work stuff. So the next episode of party chat won't be until June 1st. And
wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a drought here on my channel because I won't have a whole lot of stuff going on. I had a episode of Top 5 was the next episode of Top 5 was going to be on the 30th, where we're going to be ranking our top 5 Star Wars video games, but because of work that got moved because as I mentioned at the beginning of the year, my role at work changed because they were going to let me go, but then they realized that would be a really dumb thing to do. But my role changed with the caveat that there will be travel involved, and they're finally making good on that promise. I'm having to start travel, so that's kind of throwing a wrench in my YouTube plans. But so there, like I said, the 30th was going to be the next episode of Top 5. That episode is getting bumped to the 14th. But my co-host on Top 5, Jason, tons of fun, he is still going to do a Top 5 on the 30th. on his channel. And if anyone is interested, either reach out to me or reach out to him. I'll get you connected. He is pivoting to doing a top 5 favorite comedy movies. So if anyone wants to go on and rank your top 5 favorite comedy movies, let me know, or reach out to Jason if you want to be on that panel for the April 30th. So, yeah, so May 14th for top 5 Star Wars games is probably going to be the next thing that's going to be on my channel. So, like I said, got a bit of a drought here just due to work stuff. So, but I had a great time chatting with you guys. Ryan, as always fun having you on, and thank you for joining me, Dread Roberts. Everyone who was in chat, thanks for hanging out with us through our stream. Wade, Dabs, Leon, Clifton, Blackyard TARDIS, Devastator, and Tim Stock. That's right. Enderpoy was here earlier, but I haven't seen him in a while. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. We will see you all later, and in the meantime, game on.